Hello and welcome to the Football is Fixable Alright podcast with me, James, and as usual I've got Dan with me, but there's no Cess today, so we're going to have to handle it on ourselves, Dan.
To be fair,
do you reckon we can do it?
This episode, I'm quite looking forward to this episode because it's of award season, and Cess being the most unbiased fan on the planet, I don't think he can bring himself to pick a number one for anything, because that would show some kind of bias.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. He'd be a real hindrance on us today, wouldn't he? We've just finished the last game week of the season in the Premier League. We're recording this on Sunday after all of the games have finished now, so it's quite a day, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, what a day. We saw Man United actually win a football match. I mean,
you won a game.
I can't believe it.
That was against all odds. That was impressive.
Oh my goodness, yeah. But I mean, the bar
not
has
without
fallen.
its own controversy, though.
No, I'm also I know we won't talk about it right now, but I'm a little bit excited about the result of a certain FPL league as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that's no. Well, don't go no. No. just no. But yeah, so actually I should elaborate on that controversy at Old Trafford. So United won 2-0, so yeah, congratulations on the win, but it was Aston Villa who they were playing, and Villa were vying for the Champions League, sort of pretty much level on points. It was so close, wasn't it? A point or two difference between themselves, Newcastle, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. I think Man City were a point or two clear, and they won their game, so that I think they finished third in the end, didn't they? But Villa were going through, had a chance on goal for United, where the United keeper went to collect the ball, but I don't know what he was doing. You see the clip of it, Dan, where he sort of was pretending to, like he was going to grab the ball just before the player got to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rodgers nicked it out of his hands.
I don't know what it is with United keepers and the inability to just hold a ball in their hands. I honestly, I don't know what we're doing to our keepers, but they just forget how their hands work. It's crazy.
Just like greased up gloves or something. And Rodgers nicked the ball away, clearly no foul. The keeper didn't have any control over the ball, really. It wasn't clearly in his hands. But the referee blew a foul before Rodgers put it back in the back of the net, even though it shouldn't have been. The referee was pretty much near the halfway line, really far away. And, I mean, wow. I know, Dan, you're trying to, just sort of pat this one down. So, no, nothing to see here. But that is unbelievable.
No, it was a poor decision. Look, it was a poor decision. But
it was a terrible decision.
It was a terrible decision, but what I don't agree with is like Villa getting all up in arms in it and being like, oh, it's because of that decision that we didn't get the Champions League. They did not turn up from the start of the game. We've been atrocious this season and we dominated that game of football.
Yeah,
so,
I have to agree. Like I say, I didn't watch the game, but I have to agree with you there, really, in that you'd think it was for a team like Villa fighting for the Champions League. And yeah, but I mean, it was a kind of new referee. He's only refereed 11 games, and Aston Villa, since that match finished, they've said that they're going to be looking for an investigation or some sort of inquiry. They want some.
Of course they are.
Yeah, well, they want to look, because the referee was Thomas Bramall, who's only refereed, I think, 11 games in the Premier League this season. So he's relatively, inexperienced, and they're saying for the magnitude of the game, what was at stake? That, I mean, it led to that decision being made, I suppose. So, and it was a poor decision.
It was a poor decision, but I think they need to look at themselves more than complaining about a refereeing decision. Also, in the referee's defence, although that individual decision was poor, I actually thought he had a good game. I think in general, it wasn't like you're watching
outside that.
It's not like you're watching a game and he's having howler after howler and he's clearly lost control of the game. He actually had a decent performance as a referee for the whole 90 minutes. It's just in that one moment, he blew his whistle a bit too quickly, and that was a mistake. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but
bit of inexperience maybe. Or
yeah,
something.
Maybe. Yeah. But I think to say it was the refereeing decision, that it was the referee's fault because he's too inexperienced and all that, I think is a reach and a bit unfair, because his general performance was good. It was just one bad decision. So
you know what I blame anyway? I blame VAR. So apparently there's a rule, not VARs in terms of the technology, but the rules around VAR, right? So we've obviously fixed VAR a few times in the past because how it's ruining football, and I think everyone's agreed on this now.
Yep.
even Cess has turned to hating VAR. Apparently, because the referee blew the whistle before the ball went into the back of the net, VAR can't look at it.
Yeah, it's because exactly that. It's like it's the reason why linesmen can't put up their flag before the end of a play, because if the flag goes up and they give an offside before the play sees through, then
it's just no. I'm not having it.
You
I'm
can't
sorry.
go
I'm
back.
not having it.
It's what it is.
I'm not having it.
It's been
the point in
case forever.
VAR. We have to accept all of these delays and all of the drawing the marginal lines and all this kind of stuff. And what you expect in return is that you get the decision right and it's able to correct the biggest howlers in the game. That's surely what VAR is for. And that's a howler. That needs to be fixed. The referee is, if he's not able to see it and he's made a clear mistake, then that's what VAR should be there for.
Yeah.
We've riddled VAR with all of these rules to stop it from correcting what mistakes the referees are making, and it's just not acceptable for me. The game is gone, mate. It's gone.
No, that's fair enough. It was a bad decision, but again, I don't agree with Villa's reaction, and I don't think it's a reaction that should be endorsed. I don't think you can throw your hands up in the air and complain about a referee every time a decision goes against goes against you and blame that on the result. I think Villa really need to look at themselves for their performance on the day,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's a fair shout as well. They still had the rest of the game to try and win the whole game. It was 0-0 at the time. That was a massive moment and everything. But yeah, so we've got the final Premier League table. Obviously, Liverpool champions, Arsenal finishing second, and City in third. And then we've got Newcastle finishing off the top 5 going into the Champions League. So Villa just miss out. They'll be in the Europa.
And Chelsea make top 4. Chelsea make 4th. So fair play to them.
Yeah, they've done well over the last couple of months, to be fair. They've started to pick up more results. But I have to give a shout out to Spurs, who finished 17th after a 4-1 defeat today at home. Fantastic performance from them. To finish 17th is just magical.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's not be too bitter, James. I know they did win a trophy, didn't they?
They've lost 22 Premier League games this season. 22.
Still won a final, though. Still won a final.
That's hilarious. Dan, may I remind you, you're still on probation on this podcast.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Look, I can say these things because I'm a Man United fan. I'm a victim of it as well. So I'm allowed to say these things.
Spurs actually have a better goal difference than you. They have a -1 goal difference. They've conceded 65.
The fact that that's
Man United.
That's fantastic. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Man United have a -15 goal difference. I mean, that's insane, isn't it?
But we did finish.
Weird season.
We did finish 15th in the end. So that's pretty high.
Wow.
Yeah.
Plaudits out to you, man. That's amazing.
100%.
Who'd have thought you'd achieve that?
If there's an overachievement award, I think we need it.
Well, talking about awards then, that's going to be our episode topic today. So, fixing end of season awards, and trust me, there's plenty to fix here. Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Right, first thing then, problems, Dan. There's problems.
There's lots of problems.
We've got problems.
Do you have problems? I have problems. But
Yeah, there's loads of problems. So in terms of the awards, right? So we've got to that stage in the season, like you say, the end of season awards and that are out, or at least the nominations are. We've got some winners announced already. The first one that we need to look at, it's a real problem, is the Young Player of the Season awards, right?
100%, yeah.
Have you heard about this? So in terms of like the nominations, for a start, players can be nominated up to the age of, I think, 23 at the start of the season. So by the end of the season, some of these players could be 24, and that's deemed a young player.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's absolutely mad when you think there's going to be genuine sort of younger players in sort of their teen years who have had really good seasons, which we'll get onto in a second. But, I mean, it means that we've got players in that list that probably shouldn't be considered a young player anymore.
Yeah, and some of these players as well are players that have had multiple seasons as well already, haven't they, at like top flight football. So they're not even ones that are like, they're not even that new to the game or anything, so it kind of takes away the opportunity for the actual young players. You see
the recognition they deserve, the younger players.
Yeah, you see players coming in at like 17, 18, and they're not getting a look in because 24-year-olds that have been established for a little while are getting the prize. It's not really a fair comparison. It kind of defeats the point of a young player of the year. Do you know what I mean?
The nominations, we've already seen the winners been chosen now so it's a mixture of the votes from the public and also a panel of experts apparently. So the nominations were Delap at Ipswich, we've got Elanga at Forest, you've got Ryan Gravenberch at Liverpool, you've got Howson at Bournemouth, who's had a really good season as well, young lad.
Yeah, fair. I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, he should be in there, and I think he is a teenager still, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah. And he's like 19, I think. I mean, to be fair as well, Elanga and And Delap, I also agree with those as young players. I think they've had really good seasons and they are young players. Obviously, Delap's been at Ipswich, so I think perhaps maybe hasn't had the real opportunity to show himself. But from what he's shown, he looks a player, doesn't he? So
yeah, he's done well, like you say, considering he's had a kind of difficult set of circumstances around him. He's given them a fighting chance, hasn't he, this year? It obviously didn't work out for Ipswich in the end, but yeah, certainly had a good season. We've also got João Pedro from Brighton. We've got Morgan Rogers, who has been, I think he deserves a nomination.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's been very good.
You've got William Saliba at Arsenal, who is into his early 20s now, and is well established in the Arsenal team. And you've got Cole Palmer at Chelsea.
Oh, God. Of course we've got Cole Palmer, the standard.
I'm sure Seth would be delighted to hear that with a whole Cole Palmer train.
I was saying to you earlier, I don't even think Cole Palmer's the best young player at Chelsea, let alone in the league. I think Colwell's had a better season than...
Yeah, defender. Yeah.
I think he's had a better season than Cole Palmer this year. I think Cole Palmer had an incredible season last season, but I haven't seen that much of him this year, and sometimes reputation goes beyond you, doesn't it? Where he's sort of almost without even thinking, they just put him on the list.
It's almost like there is a kind of bias or something in there. I don't know. It's like Seth said, the Cole Palmer train, he doesn't get it. It's certainly still in motion by the sounds of it.
3 names that I think are clear omissions that are all under the age of 21 that haven't had an opportunity in the running because of these players that really shouldn't be involved. You've got Minter at Brighton.
Oh yeah, really good season.
Wharton at Palace. Adam Wharton, he's had an insane season.
Fantastic,
at Palace. And for a player of his age to boss the middle of the park as he does, because a central midfield position is so difficult, similar like a central defensive position. That's why Howson was so impressive at Bournemouth, is those defensive and midfield roles that involve so much
intelligence. You have to read the game so well, don't you?
Yeah. Exactly, and often you get it with experience. For these young players to have that ability in those positions is even more impressive. And
also Wharton as well, I've got to say before you move on to the other one, is Wharton winning the FA Cup as well. He was brilliant in that final for Palace.
Of course, fantastic. He performed on the big stage, didn't he? Yeah,
so that's the other thing which... that's got to be a factor in. I know that's the FA Cup's not the Premier League, but in terms of player of the season, young player of the season, for me that has to be a factor as well. He's been brilliant, Wharton.
But to not even be nominated, he's not listed in those nominations, is he?
Not even nominated, no.
That is so criminal. And the last one I just wanted to add as a special mention is Kirkes at Bournemouth. I think he's had an incredible season as well. And he's only 21. So these are players that have had insane seasons. All of those players, I think, comfortably have had better seasons than Cole Palmer as well, by the way.
Definitely. Yeah.
But this isn't an attack on Cole. This feels like an attack on Cole Palmer now. That isn't what I'm saying.
Certainly sounds like it, Dan.
Yeah, I apologise, actually. This is going to... But no, there was a lot of players there, how old is Pedro? I thought he was 23, 24 or something as well.
Yeah, João Pedro is 23, so he's been around he's been around for a while for Brighton, hasn't he? He's quite established in their team. It's not like a breakthrough season for him or anything. So, and I've just got to add in there as well, one of our own, Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's been
I will give you that. He's know what?
Been
I'd
fantastic.
have him. Yeah, I'd have him in a heartbeat. I think he could probably get into most teams as well. At 18 years old, he could probably get into most starting 11s.
I've heard people say that he's, I don't know what the bandwagon's about with him. Most of them are Liverpool fans that I've seen. But he's been fantastic for us. I've heard some people saying, he hasn't really played enough of the season. He's only played 12 games. I looked it up. He's 22 games or something so far this season. So he's well over, he's 2/3 of the season he's played, right?
No, he's a good player.
He's definitely a quality player. I don't know if I got my maths right there either. 2/3 or whatever it is. He's played half the season at least, but he's been brilliant. It's also the impact he's had. He's been fantastic in where we've lost so many left backs. Arteta's been criticised for buying so many defenders, but they all get injured, so we need them all in the end. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, the Young Player of the Season award, the nominations that we've just pointed out is a major issue, but also the age, the fact that you can be 23 and still, at the start of the season, as long as you start the season age 23, no older than that, then you can still be in the nominations for it. So they're they're basically young men then. They're not, young players anymore.
Yeah, it's not right.
The winner, though, of the Young Player of the Season, so out of all those votes and the expert panel, was Ryan Gravenberch. So I'm not against that, to be honest. I think that he's in the league winning side as well at Liverpool. And
I think he's a great player and he deserves recognition.
Yeah.
Is he a young player?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's 23. So he's 23 at Liverpool.
There you go. So he's a great player. He deserves plaudits. But is he a young player? Does he deserve a Young Player of the Year award?
Yeah.
I don't think he does. I think that's unfair. That's all. I think he's a great player. I just think he's not a young player.
Yeah, no, I'd say I agree with that, to be fair. And then we'll get on to Manager of the Season award. So this hasn't been, at the point of recording, the winner hasn't been chosen yet. The vote's now closed. It's going to be out anytime soon. Might even be out by the time we release this episode. But the nominations are the top 5. So we've got Thomas Frank of Brentford, who is one of my personal favourite managers in the league. I've got a soft spot for Brentford. They're a great club. The way they run things and the way they're a real kind of like honest club.
Yeah.
As well, the way they treat their fans and everything like that. And the way he plays, he gets the best out of quite limited resources, and they play some good stuff as well. I think he's a really, really top manager. We've also got Eddie Howe, fantastic season with Newcastle yet again, getting them into the Champions League in the end.
Yeah,
and also winning their first trophy in, around 70 years or something, pushing 70 years.
He's definitely got to have a mention for that, definitely, yeah.
So definitely not out of place in the shortlist. We've got Nuno Espirito Santo, who, unfortunately for him, missed out on Champions League in the end, but to even be mentioned like that is crazy.
Still an incredible... to be fair, 7th... If you told Forest at the beginning of the season they'd end in 7th place, they'd have been astounded.
Yeah, they just survived relegation last season. Yeah, that's insane. And he's definitely up there, isn't he, for one of the top performing managers? He's got to be.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, we've got Vitor Pereira, if I said that right, the Wolves manager.
Yeah.
Kept them up.
Yeah, he's turned them around, done really well.
They've had a real kind of disrupted season, different managers coming in, and he's kept them up and he's done his job, which is what he was brought in for.
Yeah.
And then finally, don't worry, Liverpool fans, I'm mentioning him. So Arne Slot is in that list.
Oh no,
no, you're not having it, Dan?
No. I think for him to be in the conversation at all is shocking.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
I think. I honestly, if anything, I'd put Jurgen Klopp in there for building the team for him before he turned up.
Oh, wow! Shots fired. Wow!
I don't see he's done anything incredible or special, or I just don't see him being an amazing manager. I just don't. He's all Liverpool have won the league.
I know what you mean.
Liverpool have won the league. Okay, fair enough. That's a great achievement to win the Premier League, but they've done it with a not that impressive point tally. Right, Liverpool have had more impressive point tallies under Jurgen Klopp in the past. They've won it by default because no one else turned up. I
know what you mean.
I don't.
They've kind of taken advantage of the circumstances. I don't think this Liverpool side would have beaten a lot of previous champions, and even last year, I think Arsenal would have beaten them. Obviously, in terms of the points we did, but in terms of the team as well, I don't think Liverpool have proven that they are the greatest champions of all time, but they do deserve it this season. They've been the most consistent. But
this isn't me digging out the Liverpool team because they are a good team. I'm just saying, as a manager, I don't really see that Slot's made an incredible contribution or drastically changed anything or done anything in any way that's really deviated from what Klopp built when he was there. And he's kind of just inherited it and been quite fortunate. He's inherited it at a time where every other team has dropped points and all he's got to do is turn up and be average.
I think he deserves credit. I thought they were going to struggle, and I'm pretty sure you said it as well, Dan, at the start of the season. Because of,
I did.
Because of obviously that transition. Arsenal and City have been looking so strong the last couple of years, and a lot of the Liverpool players are ageing and stuff. But how Slot's come in and settled that, I don't think he's out of place in the nominations, because it's pretty much every year that the team that wins the league wins the manager of the season as well, But I'm not sure I'd be voting for that. I don't know.
No, not for me.
Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace, I think it's unfair on him missing out, to be honest. I think he's had a brilliant season as well.
To get a trophy at Palace, I mean, what?
To win, it's their first ever major trophy. So, yeah, bit of controversy, some nominations that we don't agree with.
Oh, yeah.
So, should we get into our choices and how we're going to fix the whole end-of-season award system?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's do it. Right, well, firstly, Young Player of the Season award, Dan. Here's my fix. It has to be maximum 21. At the start of the season, players no older than 21.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be actually in that list. Do you agree with that? Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
I think that's what the the Golden Boy list as well. They have like the future stars of Golden Boy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's 20. Is it 20 or 21 for the Golden
It's 21.
Boy?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's 21,
and that makes sense. So it should follow that, really. I mean,
yeah, it matches up. Doesn't
I don't
it?
know.
Actually, while saying that, I've got to give a little shout out because I'm, as you know, completely unbiased, as we mentioned earlier.
The most unbiased.
Yeah, exactly. So the list current standings, the Golden Boy, the top 5 places, we've got 2 Arsenal boys in there in the top 5. Ethan Nwaneri in 5th place. And then you've got Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's currently ranked 1st in the power rankings of the Golden Boy rankings, the official charts. So come on, go on, Miles. Yeah, he didn't even get a nomination.
Above Lamine Yamal. Oh, maybe, because didn't he won it last year, didn't he, I think, Yamal?
Oh, does that mean you can't be nominated again?
Maybe you can't be nominated again, which is another good thing. That's another good thing. We could maybe add that to the fix as well. You can only win it once.
So the idea is you're giving recognition and support to the young players who maybe get
a new
they don't
one
get enough
coming
recognition,
through.
do they?
Yeah, because you could have if you're giving people the award when they're 23, you could have a young player come in at 17 and he could win it 5 years in a row.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Maybe that add that to the fixes. Under 21 and you can only win it once.
That's a good little fix. Oh, I like it. And I'm also going to put my winner in there in a second as well. So we've sort of criticised some of the nominations. I would definitely not have Cole Palmer in my, even for the short list of players in the young, best player or whatever it is. So I'm going to go with Adam Wharton, actually. I think he's my number 1 young player for what the season he's had and what he's done for Palace. I think he's my choice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think
maybe yours as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think on the current young player standings, because obviously you can be any age you like. I'd probably maybe pick Mo Salah as young player of the year.
That's a good shout. Yeah, he's had an alright season.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? So, but no. I think Adam Wharton. I really like him as a player. I think, and I think it was you saying earlier on, like he turned up to the final as well. Like that final against City, he played so well. He turned up to the big occasion
when the pressure was on against a seasoned winners, basically.
And in a position against, City normally dominate the midfield. That's like their thing. And for like a young player to hold his own against the City midfield in a cup final on the big occasion, that's a real measure of quality, I think. I think he's going to be a special player.
Couldn't agree more. Just a little side mention as well. We mentioned Mo Salah there. He won the player of the season for the professional men's game. So would you agree with that?
He's so young. He's so young. He could have the young player of the season.
Yeah, he could win both.
Yeah, no, you can't argue with that, can you? You can't.
Yeah, he has been the best. So well done, Mo Salah. We'd agree with that one. You get our vote as well. So, that's the most important thing, isn't it? The Football is Fixable, all right podcast vote. If 100%. You win that,
this is we'll send all of these players their trophies in the post.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be pride and place. The Football is Fixable, all right podcast awards.
Yeah, exactly.
The trophies are all right.
Manager of the season.
They're not great.
Trophies.
They're all right.
Yeah. Manager of the season from the 5 that was picked before. Are we picking from that? So Frank, Slot, Nuno, Pereira, or Howe?
I think Nuno. For me, I think it has to go to Nuno, just considering the differences. But a close second for me, I just want to have a special mention for Eric Ten Hag, who managed to keep Man United in the top half of the table before he got sacked.
Wow. You know what?
That's a real managerial performance that went under the radar.
It turns out he was a brilliant manager. Yeah, it turns out. But no, one thing Cess did say, when it comes to manager of the season, what it should be is which manager overperformed, like your expectations.
Well, actually, thinking about it, I would say Glasner.
He's definitely in my thinking. I'm not sure I've decided yet.
Getting an FA Cup with Crystal Palace. I think, isn't it like the first trophy in their history or something?
Yeah, the first major
trophy. I don't
trophy,
think you get like a... And I don't think... I mean, I know Eddie Howe won a trophy with Newcastle, but with the greatest of respect...
And got them in the Champions League.
But to the greatest respect to the Carabao Cup... like
the FA Cup's bigger, no doubt.
The FA Cup's a bigger trophy, and also, if you look at the teams at the beginning of the season, if you look at Newcastle versus Crystal Palace expectations... I think Crystal Palace to have won an FA Cup, regardless of whether they finish top four or not, I think is a greater achievement for Palace than Newcastle getting Carabao in a top four position. So you've got to say, based on that, Glasner's probably, as a manager, got more out of his team.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Glasner has, compared to expectations, achieved more. Arne Slot's definitely... I didn't expect him. Going on, I've got to admit this, at the start of the season, I didn't think that they'd be in the top two, Liverpool. And to win it...
Yeah, that's true.
For me, I'm going to say Oliver Glasner. He's my winner. That's what I'm saying. Slot might be my number 2. And then Thomas Frank's my number 3. I know you're very anti-Slot, I know that, but I'm putting him in there number 2.
I'm not anti-Slot. I'm anti the Slot hype.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
like you say... He's done an okay job to steady the ship. And look, he's won a Premier League, so he's not a terrible manager, but I don't think he's a great manager. I think he's quite average.
Oh, he's achieved more than I expected. So by my own... I don't want to be a hypocrite. By my own measure, I think he deserves to be fighting for the top.
I thought... for a minute, I thought you said he's achieved more than Ajax.
Yeah, absolutely. Complete bottle jobs, by the way, Ajax. You have to go and look this up. How they lost the league in the end. They were like 9 points clear with a few games to go. So, wow. If there was a bottle jobs award.
Speaking of bottle jobs.
No.
Speaking of bottle jobs, can I add an award in here?
What? No.
So, I personally, this isn't a fix or anything, but I'd like to add my own award for this. It's one, I think we should have a Spursy award for the most Spursy team.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously Spurs renowned for bottling it and everything. So
yeah, the Spursy award should probably give some background. So we're going to come up with our own award system, and yeah, we thought the awards that should be really out there. There's all these awards that people don't really know what they're talking about. So we've stuck our heads together and we've thought, what would be the awards that people really want to hear about? And the Spursy awards are first one we want to talk about, isn't it? So what do we mean by Spursy? We've talked about it on previous episodes. So it's a term associated, obviously, with Tottenham Hotspur in general. That's where it originated from. But it describes a team, their tendency to be very, very close to success and ultimately fail. So the Bottle Job Award, in a sense, but we call it the Spursy Award. So go on then, Dan. Who's your nomination for that then?
So there's a few nominations. I won't go through the nominations. I'll just cut straight to the winners. And that is, of course, Arsenal this year. So
Arsenal win the Spursy Award. Is that what you're saying?
Arsenal win the Spursy Award for being the biggest bottle jobs. But the reason I brought this up is I felt I could bring this up is because I actually feel like United should be considered a close runner-up for managing to lose to Spurs.
You lost
in the final
Tottenham
of a
Hotspur.
European Cup.
Exactly.
Yeah. We didn't just lose to them, we lost to them in a final. Yeah. Which typically is the worst performances in the club's history are in finals because they just can't win anything.
Yeah.
And we managed to be worse.
You couldn't even beat Spurs.
And I don't know if you watched the game. It was like a race to who was the worst team.
It was awful.
On the day.
I did watch it. It was terrible.
It was absolutely terrible.
It definitely felt like it was two teams that were 16th and 17th in the league at the time playing in a final. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Oh, hang on. Can we just correct? We are now 15th. So obviously, we've come a long way since then.
In that last game of the season,
hence why we're only the runners up. But so the winners of the Spursy Award this year will be Arsenal, coining the new phrase, Arsey.
Oh, whoa, careful. You know the other thing, the Spurs fans have been arguing and moaning all season about how terrible the team is and how it's ruined, their days every time they watch them play and all this kind of stuff. And now they're saying that they've had a better season than Arsenal. It's just crazy. They're saying they're the champions of Europe with the Europa League.
And this is, they're not, are they? They're not.
That's like saying Leeds, who won the championship, are the champions of England. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Right. So our next award is the Worst Referee's Performance of the Season award, right? And there's a couple of nominees for this. So I've got to put Thomas Bramall from today, from the game at Man United and Aston Villa.
I disagree with this, but I shall pass.
That decision, Dan. I know you might say the rest of the game, but I've seen like BBC and TNT and the pundits across those channels. I was listening post-match.
Of course, they're all going to be going because they all love Villa and they all hate United.
Oh, right.
So they're all going to be on that side.
Well, I didn't know who it was on the BBC. I didn't recognise who it was, but she was saying that could be the worst decision I've seen across the whole season. It was a shocker. So
I disagree, but there you go.
I'm putting that up there as one of the worst decisions. But as a whole performance, I've got to put Michael Oliver is going to win this award. So well done, Michael.
Good job, Michael.
No, yeah, well done. Many congratulations. The Worst Refereeing Performance Award. And it's just kind of been a season of woe for him, really. He's just meant to be. This is the other thing. It's because it's linked to expectations as well. He's meant to be the best referee, right? He's the PGMOL's star boy, referee. And some of the performances he's had, obviously, as an Arsenal fan, we don't particularly get on very well with him. He doesn't like us. He sends our players off pretty much every match. The Miles Lewis-Skelly decision, when he sent him off against when we were playing against Wolves, which later on ended up being rescinded, with Howard Webb saying
it was a shocker. This isn't personal, is it, James?
No, definitely no emotion here at all.
No.
Liverpool as well. Actually, Liverpool as a club said that his performance was horrendous in the Everton-Liverpool derby. Earlier this season as well. So
yeah, he's one of those. He just loves the attention on him, doesn't he?
I wonder if it is he's a bit of a Mike Dean 2.0. He just seems to be the one.
Gives me that kind of vibe, yeah.
But in that game, I have to say, the Liverpool fans will completely agree with this because there were several fouls he gave to Everton where there wasn't even any contact. So there we go. So he wins the Worst Referee Performance Award. So congratulations. Number 3. What's our next award, Dan?
So from the worst decision, I wanted to have a special mention for the best decision of the season.
Oh, right, yeah.
Personally, I don't actually think we need any other contenders other than Nottingham Forest's decision to ban Gary Neville from the stadium.
That's a great shout. Yeah, so if you don't know, listeners, Gary Neville and I think Carragher as well, they were going to be in the commentary team for the Nottingham Forest game, last game of the season. And they were banned. Nottingham Forest issued a statement saying they're not allowed in the stadium. Yeah, I heard that Carragher might be in with a ban as well or something.
The decision just gets better and better. I didn't know that Carragher was also involved. This is fantastic stuff.
So that definitely puts that's the best decision, isn't it? To put both of those out. So well done, Nottingham Forest. We'll get that award sent out to you. Brilliant stuff. And our next one. So we've got a very special award. It's the Martin Keown Award. So this is for outstanding biasness against all professional credibility, putting their own reputation aside to show that they are biased towards their own clubs. So
yeah, it's a sign of pure self-sacrifice when you're willing to lose all dignity for the sake of your opinion.
Yeah, when you're supposed to be unbiased, but actually you're completely biased in all of your punditry or commentating.
Yeah, and for that, we really need to just stand back and marvel and applaud it,
Yeah. Nominations, Dan. What's our nominations for this one?
I mean, I have a few, to be honest with you. I think you're probably second place. You'd probably give it Gary Neville, wouldn't you? Because he just seems to have lost the plot these days. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know if someone's sort of inflated his ego too much and he thinks he's just the font of all knowledge of football now.
Carragher as well. I've got to say, Jamie Carragher. I used to like the way he analysed football, but especially in the last year or so, his bias has shone through for me. He's become a lot more biased in the way he interprets the game.
I'd say so. I think he's probably, in his defence, he's probably matching the Gary Neville levels.
Yeah, I think it's very tight between the two.
Probably, as one goes up, the other then brings theirs up to counterbalance it. So they're kind of like, do you know what I mean?
They're both vying for that title, aren't they, for the award?
Yeah, I better fight back on this. I better fight back on this. And they're just getting worse and worse. So, so the winner of the Martin Keown Award is, in fact, Martin Keown himself.
Well done, Martin. Yep.
It was a particular moment with Simon Jordan that got incredibly heated, that sort of pushed it in his favour.
Pretty much every week, I think.
nearly every week, but honestly, he just loses his cool so quickly and comes up with some absolute drivel. He used to actually be okay. I remember him on co-commentary for BBC.
Yeah, he used to be really good. I think, yeah.
Yeah, he's just another one of these people that have just, I don't know, trying to get in the sort of clickbait game or something. I don't really know what's going on.
I mean, if you think about it, for a pundit's career, to get put on all the shows, on the best matches, and you want to be in the mainstream TV channels, if you're someone who provokes and says things that gets people watching and engaging with it, that's really what a lot of these guys do, isn't it? So it is kind of a bit too much now. He's tipping over into that emotion too much. So well done, Martin. The winner of this season's Martin Keown Award goes to you.
Congratulations.
Many congratulations. We have one more award that we will hand out, and that is for the silliest football quote of the season. There's just a clear winner. So Cess pointed this one out earlier in the season to us. He spotted it on Saturday Social, one of the Sky Sports football shows, and they were talking about the Premier League and La Liga and players who go between from the Premier League to La Liga, basically in Spain. And the quote was, "If you go from the Premier League to La Liga, you either fly or you flop." Thierry Henry was somewhere in the middle.
So straight away, Thierry Henry breaks the rule they've just invented. So that's the first thing. He didn't fly or flop. He was somewhere in the middle. So straight away, they've broken their own rule. So that's great.
Exactly. And they've just won an award for it. So well done to them.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right, I think it's time we get into some fantasy football stuff, Dan. I've been dreading this moment. If I'm honest.
Let's do this.
Let's go. It's time for John's Juicy Tips, everyone. Very juicy.
Give us some of them award-winning tips, John.
John's Juicy Tips.
Yeah.
Alright, it's award season. It's time for the most prestigious award of the year. Is the Football is Fixable? Alright, FPL Manager of the Year. To qualify for this coveted award, you have to be in the top 5 in the league. So, the teams that qualified are: in 5th place we have Manning's Mighty Reds. In 4th place we have Control Alt Delict. In 3rd place we have Pep a Pig. In 2nd place we have the one and only John Heung Min. And in 1st place, a deserved league champion, it is Slotty Too Hotty. So, to scoop up this wonderful trophy, you need differentials in your side and a fantastic team name. The teams with the most differentials in their starting 11 are John Heung Min, Pep a Pig, and Manning's Mighty Reds. And the greatest team names from these, I think you'll agree, are Pep a Pig, Control Alt Delete, Delete, and Manning's Mighty Reds. So the winner is, with no Bristol City bias here, Manning's Mighty Reds. Congratulations, mates. And I'll see you next season for some more juicy tips. Juicy.
Thanks, John, as always, dishing out some brilliant advice. He's got the juiciest tips.
He deserves the Juicy Award.
He's been brilliant, and actually some of his tips have actually helped you, Dan, because the way the league's looking, mate, I'm 23 points ahead of you, and you might have earned 27 or something like that, so I think you might just nick it from me, which is unbearable.
Oh.
No, it's a real end of season drama. It's brilliant. I have to say, we have to give a shout out to Sam, who for most of the season has been top of our league, and John was catching up on him. But what we didn't realise is Sam kept his bench boost. He kept it secret, and he used it on the last day of the season. And
fair play to him.
Sam is steamrolling everyone, and he's the deserved Football is Fixable, alright, fantasy football champion.
I'd like to thank everyone that joined, actually, because the league's looking quite healthy. What do we had, 40 or 50 odd people in the league?
Yeah, it's like 45 or something teams, yeah.
So thank you to everyone for joining our league, because it's made it a great little competition.
Absolutely, yeah. And hopefully you'll join us again next year, and we'll have more people joining as well. So we want to make the league as big as 100%. We can.
bigger and bigger.
Exactly. See if you can beat our guru.
Juicier and juicier.
So certainly a juicier.
Sorry.
And yeah, John finished second, so our guru finished second. See if anyone next season can beat our guru. So there we are. Thanks everyone for playing. Dan, we forgot. There's one final award we need to give out.
Oh, what's this?
So we've got the Lifetime Football Achievement Award, right? For contributions to football, and we want to give this one out to Sir Gary Lineker. So it's his last ever performance on Match of the Day on Sunday. At the point of recording, he'll be on shortly. Actually, he's on now as we're recording. We need to go and I will watch it all back.
We do a lot of mocking on here, and we do pick a lot, and there's a lot of bad in football world, but Gary Lineker is definitely not one of those things. He's a
legend, isn't he?
He is a legend. He's a gentleman. He's all the best things. Yeah. So he'll be sorely missed, I think. Hopefully
we'll still see you a lot on your own podcast. So there we go. So thanks everyone, and thanks for listening as well. It's been our first full season, because last year we started around January, I think it was, in last season. So first full season, we've grown the team. We've now got Dan with us as well.
And I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
So thanks for joining us as well, Dan.
Yeah, you're most welcome. And I think just to end, I think we should add one last award to our end of season awards. And it's...
Oh, right.
Yeah. Award for the best footballing podcast of the year. And
right,
I think it should go to us. I don't know about you, James, but I think we win that one. What do you think?
That's a good shout. Yeah, I think you're on one there.
Yeah, don't ask Sess, because he's not biased enough to put us in the hat.
That's true. Right, thanks everyone, and hopefully we've reassured you that football is fixable. All right, and have a great week. It's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.